Going on, everybody? Good old JM here with you on this Throwback Thursday as we present yet another out of the archives right here on the Casa D18 Studios. JJ, I know, has been working tirelessly to comb through everything on the NoDQ channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, on his own Casa D18 Studios, on the J. Hebert 95 Studios, the Simple Man brand, to present to you something that you may not have seen before, something that you haven't seen in a long time, perhaps. I know I'm looking forward to what the Renegade has in store, and I hope you are too. Kick your feet up, enjoy a little respite from the craziness of a Thursday, and enjoy this classic content right here on the Casa D18 Studios.
Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Welcome everyone, this is episode 7 of Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com, MySpace.com/Jeff Meacham, and YouTube.com, username NoDQ&AV. You're watching us wherever you are. Thank you very much again for watching us. The most hits since episode, I believe, 2 or episode 4. Maybe even, episode 2 I believe it was. We got 6,000 and something. This last time we got 6,000 and something. So thank you very much once again to everybody that watched the show. And big show today. We've got a few questions, but we also have SummerSlam predictions. Of course, you can catch SummerSlam on NoDQ.com. Live coverage coming up this weekend. And be sure to check out NoDQ.com for all your SummerSlam needs. And for right now, let's get to your questions. This one's from Irk. I guess that's how you say it. It has a little trademark after it, so I'm assuming it's Irk. My question to you is, where do you see the wrestling world in 20 years? Who is running WWE? What is TNA doing? Who has died? Who's in the Hall of Fame? Is WWE still even around? Yes, WWE is still around in 20 years. It's being run by Shane and Stephanie and Triple H. I think Vince will have stepped aside by then. He'll be in his 80s, so he'll step aside by then. TNA is still around. TNA is thriving. TNA is definitely the number 2 promotion in the world, if not number 1 by then. Who has died? Sad to say, I think Hulk Hogan will be dead in the next 20 years. Ric Flair probably. A lot of the old timers that I grew up watching will probably have passed away from cancer or some weird happening or occurrence. Hall of Fame, Ric Flair will be in the Hall of Fame. Roddy Piper's already in the Hall of Fame. You'll see guys like Kevin Nash probably be in the WWE Hall of Fame, the Dudleys. A lot of people will be. Trish will be in the Hall of Fame by then for sure. Yes, WWE is still around, as I mentioned. WWE will be around as long as the McMahons are around. And as long as the McMahons are around, WWE will continue to thrive and survive and be a flourishing company. This one's from Heart Filled with Love. Do you think WWE should drop the Eugene gimmick? It was fun at first, but now that his so-called uncle no longer works for them, it's just gotten silly, maybe even compete under his real name. Yes, drop the Eugene gimmick. I've been calling for this for 2 years, more. Drop the Eugene gimmick, please. Get it out of here. Make it go away. Nick Dinsmore needs to wrestle as himself. He needs to come out of this stupid retard coma that he's in. Please, Nick, listen to me. Come out of this gimmick. Drop the superhero costume. Drop Eugene. Become yourself, please. I've been sick of Eugene for over 2 years. I've never liked the character. I think it's stupid. And I think that, I really, not the fact that he's stupid, wink, wink, he's retarded or whatever. I think that the character itself is legitimately stupid and a waste of time. I think Eugene would be better off wrestling as himself, Nick Dinsmore, and I think he has the potential to be a great WWE superstar if they let him break it out on his own. Yes, he's a former World Tag Team Champion. Big deal. His only main event feud has been with Triple H. That's it. That's ridiculous. And his other feud was with Bischoff when he had the hair versus hair match against him. And that was ridiculous, too. No, Eugene needs to go away. Far, far away. Nick Dinsmore, bring yourself back, please. Everything's wasted time again, once is the question. I was wondering if you ever heard of the tag team, the Briscoe Brothers, and if so, what do you think of them? The Briscoes. I know them by reputation only. I've never had a chance to see them because every time I go to PWG, they no-show. They have a reputation of no-showing PWG. They've had some problems with flights. They've had problems with transportation in general. I've heard they just are flaky. I've seen some of their stuff on tape through Ring of Honor. They're a good tag team, but by reputation, they're flaky, and hopefully they'll change that. Hopefully they'll start showing up some more shows out here. Cause I love to see them. I love to see what they're all about. I haven't had a chance to see them yet. They were part of the tag team tournament to crown new PWG tag team champions back in May, and I didn't get to go to the tournament. I was broke, so hopefully the Briscoes will come back to PWG. Hopefully the Briscoes will show up. I'd love to see them and change my thinking on them, because right now I don't think very much of them, unfortunately. Alright, this one is from Pete. Jeff, I'm waiting for the WWE to make a lasting push with Mark Henry. He seems like someone who can do well with the big names at the top. Do you agree? Who else do you think they could push on top on SmackDown? Because if you ask me, Batista and Great Khali aren't getting it done. Mark Henry does have the talent, I believe, to make it as a big name on SmackDown. He's been pushed as a monster heel. He has the feud coming up with The Undertaker and Unforgiven. And he has the potential. He really does. The trouble is he's been there for over 10 years now. And they haven't really done anything with him yet. And people don't buy him as a legitimate threat because he's been there so long he hasn't done jack squat. And for a while he was a comedy character, if you remember. So I think that Mark Henry has the potential, but I don't think WWE's ever going to utilize that full potential because they've had the chance for over 10 years and they've never actually got done with him. And he's been injured a lot, too. He's been injured quite a bit. So between injuries and WWE not pushing him properly in the beginning, Mark Henry's been destined to fail for some time, and I think when his contract runs out, that's going to be it for him. This one today comes from Bruce Adams. Did you enjoy the CM Punk Raven feud in Ring of Honor and the FWA? Me, I loved it. They cut great promos, great matches. It was one of the best feuds in wrestling history. Your thoughts? And if you haven't seen it, I urge you to check it out. You won't be disappointed. Thanks. I did have a chance to see one Ring of Honor match between CM Punk and Raven on a tape that my friend Alex had. Great match. Their feud was legendary. Their feud was talked about all over the internet and through the dirt sheets and the wrestling magazines. I got to see some of the pictures of the feud. I got to see one match, like I said. The great storyline. I think that if they had carried over to TNA, it would have been great. Raven and CM Punk are two of the best talents in the history of this business, and I think they have potential. They had the potential, and they fulfilled the potential to be a great feud. They had a tremendous rivalry, and it went on for a long, long time in this business. And for them to be paired against each other was great for booking, great for business. It was just a great feud overall. So, but if you have any more matches, let me see them. I love to see them. Next one is from Thomas the Imitator Kennedy. What's your opinion on women's wrestling in the WWE right now? I think the women's wrestling is starting to make a slight comeback. If you notice, they're having some more women's matches on SmackDown. Michelle McCool's being more active. Victoria's there. And on Raw, you've got Jillian Hall, you've got Candice, the Women's Champion, you've got Beth Phoenix, you've got Melina, and they're having a big Divas Battle Royal. That's one of the matches at SummerSlam on Sunday. I think that they're going to make a push toward women wrestling kind of coming back, and hopefully it'll boost the division more. I think having a wrestler like Victoria on SmackDown's a mistake. She should be on Raw contending for the championship. But they're having Michelle McCool become more active, and hopefully they'll have the other divas become more active in the ring as well and actually train them properly and have them wrestle. I think if they do that, they'll have a very capable women's division in the near future. This one's from Nick M. Hey, Jeff, what are your thoughts on the Shamrock comeback now that he's pretty much finished with the Ultimate Fighting World? I think if he can still move about, he could inject some of the attitude era that the USA Network are looking for back into WWE. On the other hand, if he was used well in TNA with the obvious feud with Kurt Angle, the UFC Olympic background, and the ankle lock finish, it would be a success because after Joe, Angle has no real main event competition in my opinion. You know, that's a good opinion you've got there, Nick. Honestly, Shamrock has a history with TNA. As you know, he was the first NWA World Champion under the TNA banner back in June of 2002. He would be a great addition to TNA's roster. I think that if he can still move about, like you said, he'd be a great addition to either roster. I don't know if WWE is so much interested in Shamrock anymore. I hear there's like bad blood on both sides between Shamrock and WWE. I'm not entirely sure about that. But I think Shamrock would fit in well in TNA. You know, you've got guys like Brock Lesnar who negotiated with the company. He'd be a great feud for Kurt Angle as well. But I think Shamrock would be a good starter feud after the whole thing with Joe is over and with the 3 championships with Angle is over. I think that Shamrock would be a good addition. Thank you for the question. Absolutely. Let's see. Makika, I believe is how you say it. If it's not, let me know how to say it on the next show. All right. What do you think of Andrew Martin, also known as Test, going to TNA? I think it was the right move, and I like him so much better as a babyface than a heel. I think Andrew Martin is a great talent. I've always liked Test. Back when he was Test, now he's Andrew the Punisher Martin. I think that he has the potential to be a great star in TNA. He was in the main event match at Sacrifice, or what was it? Not Sacrifice. What was the last pay-per-view? Hard Justice. He was in that match with Sting and the Best against Christian's Coalition. Andrew Martin is going to be a player in TNA, I think. I think that he'll, barring injury or any serious problems with him, he's going to be a factor in TNA for years to come. He's a great wrestler. I think WWE didn't get him near enough of a chance, and hopefully with his with him being the new addition to TNA, he'll be a great superstar. This is from Violent J. No, not Insane Clown Posse's Violent J. Different person. Will TNA or WWE ever try and bring in big names like Jushin Thunder Liger and the Great Muta for a world title push and any title push? I think Jushin Liger would be a great addition to the TNA X division or the Cruiserweight division if the Cruiserweight division is used properly. The Great Muta had his run in the NWA and WCW. He was NWA World Champion, as a matter of fact. Back in 1993, he defeated Masa Chono for the championship before losing it to Barry Windham at Super Brawl 1993. Jushin Liger is a great light heavyweight, great cruiserweight, junior heavyweight, whatever you want to call him. He'd be a great addition to a cruiserweight division in WWE if, as I mentioned, the WWE would use a cruiserweight division properly. I think if he was in the X division, they would turn the X division up 2, 3, 4, 5 notches. Jushin Liger is a tremendous asset to any company he's with, and he's a great talent. The Great Muta, a little bit past his prime, I think, but he would be a good addition to maybe TNA if they wanted to get some international exposure. WWE for the Great Muta? No, absolutely not. This is from Terry. I had the opportunity to go to OVW house shows on occasion. I was wondering on what you think about OVW having better house shows than WWE. Never seen the OVW house show, so I couldn't tell you if they're better than WWE. I went to WWE house show last month at the Honda Center in Anaheim. It was a great show. I think WWE's house shows are improving. I think WWE's shows overall are improving. They're starting to make an upward swing again. I think the lead into SummerSlam has been great for them. I think their ratings are better significantly. If you've noticed on NoDQ.com, they post the Raw ratings, and they're going up and up again. So hopefully the upswing will continue. As far as OVW shows being better, send me an OVW tape. Let me know how they are. Let me see OVW at its best, because I've never seen OVW. All I do is read about them and hear about them. I've never actually seen them, so let me see some tapes, and I'll be the judge for myself. This one's from Waja, or Waha, W-A-J-A. I don't know how to say it. So, where do you stand on Kevin Nash's creative talents? People say his booking was horrible in WCW, but the stuff he's done with Alex Shelley, Sanjay, Jay Lethal, etc. is amazing. Do you think Nash gets blamed unfairly during his booking in WCW? Not so much unfairly. I think that Nash's booking did leave a little bit to be desired when he was in WCW. I think his stuff with the X Division and TNA is funnier than hell, but he's not really booking anymore. He's a contracted talent like everybody else. He's doing what the writers are asking him to do, but he does have some input, but not to the great degree that he had when he was part of WCW. I think that his booking led to a big decline in the ratings of WCW. You talk about Goldberg's streak ending because of Nash's booking. You talk about him being an integral part of the Russo era when he was booking. Nash was a big part of that. I think that Nash doesn't get blamed unfairly for it. I think that Nash is justifiably blamed for his part in the decline of WCW. This one is from Mike. Which do you prefer, the old days of Survivor Series, where every match was 6-on-6 or 5-on-5, or today's 1-on-1 matches? I think Survivor Series was a great concept back when it was 5-on-5 or 4-on-4. There's never really a 6-on-6 unless you had the tag team match, which was 10-on-10, 20 guys in one match. That was so bad. That was back in like the either 87 or 88 Survivor Series. I like Survivor Series the way it used to be when it was all elimination matches, because it made Survivor Series different. It made Survivor Series unique. With it all having one-on-one matches or mostly one-on-one matches, it's like the pay-per-view. At least you have some matches that are 5-on-5, 4-on-4, whatever the case may be, and you have a different style of match than you would normally have at a regular pay-per-view. I think keeping Survivor Series with both is good for them, because some matches need to be 5-on-5, 4-on-4, whatever it's going to be this year. But I think they need to have an occasional title match or an occasional one-on-one match, just like Solo Grudge and Survivor Series, because it's one of the big four every year. So Survivor Series is good the way it is right now, as long as they keep a balance of both the tag matches, the elimination matches, and the singles matches. SummerSlam predictions. Yes. All right. There's only 8 matches announced. There's more announced before this goes to air. Sorry. Can't help that. I can only do what I can do. Kane versus Finlay. This is an interesting feud that they've developed in WWE. I like this feud, and I think that Kane needs a championship run again before he retires. And the best way to do that is to get a pay-per-view win at SummerSlam. SummerSlam is one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. It's the biggest pay-per-view of the summer, and I think that he needs a win. So I think they'll give Kane the win, if not a loss by disqualification, because he goes crazy on Finlay, one or the other. The Divas Battle Royal to get a women's championship shot. They're pushing toward Beth Phoenix, from what I hear, to be the next women's champion. Or they may have a mystery person involved. I hear Natty Neidhart's going to be moved up, maybe. I'm hearing Lacey may be moved up. There's a few people that could be the next women's champion, but I think the favorite is going to be Beth Phoenix, so I'm going to go with her. Intercontinental title triple threat match. Umaga, Kennedy, and Carlito. Kennedy's time is now. Kennedy has been on Raw for a few months, and he hasn't really done a whole lot except for injure Bobby Lashley, which was big. I think that Kennedy needs the Intercontinental Championship to sort of boost himself a little bit more, and I think that Umaga's time as champion is over. He's going to be pushed as a babyface destroyer, so I think that Mr. Kennedy is going to win the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Rey Mysterio and Chavo. If Rey doesn't win, there's something wrong. Rey is making his big comeback. He needs a win. Bottom line, Chavo has been, riding Rey and just making fun of him, humiliating him week after week on SmackDown. Rey cannot do anything but respond to that. So Rey's going to win. The 619 will prevail at SummerSlam, and we'll see what happens from there with Rey Mysterio. ECW World Championship. CM Punk is going to defeat John Morrison, I feel, and they become the new champion. They need to have a different champion on ECW to have a, Big Daddy V will challenge him for the championship. You got a lot of heels on ECW that need to challenge for the championship, and they can't because John Morrison's a heel as well. So I think that John Morrison's time has come at last. He's going to lose the championship to CM Punk, and CM Punk will rise to the top, and he'll get his world title run for a good few months. The Great Khali and Batista. I think Great Khali's time is not quite done with the World Heavyweight Championship. I think he's going to retain the championship. Batista has gone down to the Vice Grip more than once, and I think it'll happen again at SummerSlam. I don't think the Vice Grip will do it, per se, but I think that Great Khali will find a way to retain the championship. Triple H and King Booker. WWE.com is predicting that King Booker is going to prevail, believe it or not. I disagree with that. Triple H is making a comeback like Rey Mysterio. Triple H needs a win to start his new run off fresh, and I think that King Booker's run his big mouth long enough. He already got the best of Jerry Lawler twice. He's gotten the best of JR, and I think that King Booker's been a bully, and I think he's going to get put in his place at SummerSlam by Triple H. And the WWE Championship, the main event, John Cena against Randy Orton. John Cena's been champion 11 months now. In this most recent reign, he's been champion 23 of the last 24 months. And I think that Cena's time has come. Cena's time is going to be over for a little while. I don't think he'll go away by any means, but I think that Randy Orton's time to ascend is now. If they're ever going to have him be a WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion again, the time is right now. Not to be a pun on John Cena, the time is now, wink wink. But I think Randy Orton will be the next WWE champion come SummerSlam. Thank you very much to everybody that watched the show today. If I didn't get to your question, I've got 100 questions in my inbox still that I have to go through. I went through this all last night. This is 2 o'clock in the morning. I was going through these list of questions. So I apologize if I didn't get to your question. I will get to it soon. And stay tuned for episode 8. Don't forget, this Sunday on NoDQ.com, live SummerSlam coverage at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello everybody, this is Double A, the normal cameraman for the Renegade of Wrestling channel on YouTube. Shouts out to guys over there. Just letting you know to be on the lookout for my new show, The Double Down with Double A. It's going to be innovative, it's going to be fun. I'm not always going to talk about wrestling. I'm going to talk about sports, current events, or just shit that just really just pisses me off. So be sure to tune in very soon.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
To episode 7 of A Hearty Conversation. As always, I am Sean.
And I am Chris.
And we're here to bring you the goings-ons in the world of professional wrestling over the past week. Honestly, like in past weeks, there hasn't been a whole lot to report. Nothing earth-shattering on the scene this past week. Over in TNA, Tara, aka Victoria, is now the TNA Knockouts champion. Congratulations, Tara. Only the second woman to become WWE Women's Champion and TNA Knockouts champion. Quite a feat there. Over on SmackDown, was there anything interesting? Because all I really heard was Crime Time do a little bromance thing on Word Up, talking trash about the Hart Dynasty. I like both teams representing Crime Time right now, but, you know, leave the Hart Dynasty alone. You already did that skit once before with The Miz and John Morrison, so it's kind of recycled. Let the bromance thing go.
And then Pretty Ricky, a.k.a. R-Truth, doing his little alter ego like he did in TNA. And then we had the Jeff Punk thing going on again. Yeah, nothing really big on SmackDown because it was taped 2 weeks ago, so it wasn't up to date on the new stuff with Edge.
Over at UFC 100, Brock Lesnar is now the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. Dominated Frank Mir in the second round via TKO. Probably about a 7 to 8 minute fight. It was all one-sided. There was nothing from Mir whatsoever. Raw had Seth Green hosting.
Great job, Seth.
It was funny, but I think they could have done a lot more with Seth Green. I mean, considering that he hosts his own animated show, Robot Chicken, sketch comedy, they could have incorporated a bunch of his old movie characters, I think. I would have loved to have seen somebody come up and discuss, you know, Special K with him from Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
They could have done a few Scott Evil jokes, aside from the
Big
Show doing.
Yeah.
They could have thrown in a du jour joke or two from Josie and the Pussycats. Yeah. There's so many movies they could have touched on where he played very cheeseball, corny roles and could have made fun of him. They could have done the ever-popular, well, I'm a big movie actor, I'm Seth Green. Well, didn't you see me in The Waterboy? Well, didn't you see me in 12 Rounds? Well, didn't you see me in Blade Trinity?
Or they could have signed Ariel to a one-day contract in the whole, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing. You know,
that could have worked, too. Bring her and Kevin Thorne back for one appearance.
That would have been
and
awesome.
then a Buffy theme. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
But, like I said, aside from all of that, there wasn't too much that went on in the world of wrestling, so we're going to get straight to your questions. We've only got 3 this week, but they're very long discussioned questions, so we're going to get to those
right now.
Our good buddy Chaos Daddy wants to know, Sean and Chris, what are the top 10 things that you do not miss about Vicky Guerrero?
Excuse me? Excuse me!
That's probably number one. We
Yeah.
can only really think of about 5 things that we don't miss about her.
Yeah.
That's definitely number one, though. That high-pitched, annoying, excuse me.
Yeah. And then probably her giving title matches to Edge every single month and running him down our throat.
It's nothing different than what WWE's been doing with John Cena, though.
Yeah. Her being Raw and SmackDown GM. That was really stupid. Seeing her on both shows was getting very old. 4 would be her fat ass and her destroying Eddie Guerrero's legacy.
Forget about just Eddie Guerrero's legacy. She destroyed the entire Guerrero family legacy. She reduced Chavo to being her little wheelchair pusher. Chavo is an awesome wrestler, but then again, WWE has been pissing on the Guerrero name for years. Some of you may not think so because, oh, well, Eddie was a multi-time champion and he was WWE champion. Okay, go back. The Gobbledygooker was a Guerrero when he first debuted. I believe it was Hector. Then you've got Latino Heat, very stereotypical and degrading of the legacy. You had that gay storyline where the ladder match to see who got the custody of Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son. You had JBL's whole little heart attack with Eddie's mom at an El Paso house show angle. That was lame. Then throw in all the stuff you've made Chavo Guerrero do, wrestling midgets on his knees, wrestling midgets with one arm tied behind his back, wrestling women for the Cruiserweight title with one arm behind his back. You know, they've been doing this for years. I don't get it. Aside from, like I said, Eddie being WWE champion.
And it wasn't a clean victory, too. You know, Goldberg helped Eddie win, so it wasn't a clean victory beating Brock Lesnar.
And you can even credit Austin with some of the win because it was Austin who supposedly gave Goldberg the ticket to be ringside in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's just a few things that we don't miss about Vicky Guerrero.
Yes.
Next question is from your good buddy and your favorite name, Punk Sucks.
Yeah, great name.
Hey Sean and Chris, I was thinking since TNA does their all cage match pay-per-view, Lockdown, I had a question for you. If you had to make a ladder match pay-per-view where every match was a different ladder match, what would you do?
I'll start this off since this ladder match is my favorite kind of match of all time.
I do have to say this one thing though before you go on your little rant because I know you've got so many ideas about ladder matches.
Yes.
Ladder match pay-per-view, in my opinion, almost wouldn't be able to be done because there's so few variations you can put on a ladder match, unlike a cage match. There's so many different things you can do, so many different ways you can twist cage matches, weapons, blah, 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 blah. Ladder match, I think, would be a little bit difficult, so I don't know if you'd be able to pull 7 or 8 matches out, let alone be able to do it every single year like TNA does Lockdown.
Yeah. Let's say if the ladder match pay-per-view would be Night Champions. So we're going to put Jericho and a mystery partner versus Legacy versus Crime Time versus the Hart Dynasty in a fatal 4-way ladder match for the Tag Team Championships.
Okay.
Then we would have Malise versus Victoria versus Beth in a triple threat women's ladder match.
You do realize Victoria's not with the company anymore, right?
Oh, sorry, Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix, Malise, and Mickey James. Sorry. Mickey James, Beth Phoenix, and Malise for the Divas Championship in a ladder match. We would have Punk, Jeff. That's probably it right now because they could throw so many more guys in there, but let's just say Punk versus Edge in tables, ladders, and chairs. We would have Cena, Trips, and Randy for the WWE Championship in a triangle ladder match. And then probably You know, Kofi is probably the best one ever. Kofi versus Evan in a barbed wire ladder match. So there's just a few right there that I can think of. What do you think?
Most of your matches, no offense, sounded like the exact same match. You either had, you know, 3 people in the match or 4 people in the match. There wasn't much variation, I think. Here's what I would do. Okay, a couple of those matches I could see sticking around. I would like to see a tag team ladder match.
Yes.
I would like to see a TLC.
Yeah.
Okay. I would then probably incorporate my Hell in a Cell ladder match.
Yep.
My own creation. That's a Sean Hardy exclusive.
So don't copyright that, Vince.
I would probably do a Money in the Bank ladder match, something you left out.
Yeah.
Because I honestly feel there's so many people on the roster that would be good in a ladder match that you wouldn't be able to get them all on the pay-per-view. You do a Money in the Bank, there's 6 or 8 guys right there.
Yeah.
In one match. I would probably incorporate my Divas Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
So there's 5 matches right there. Like I said, I don't know if I could do an entire 8 matches. I don't know about your barbed wire ladder match because I think that would hurt Vince's guys too much, and they're already too injury prone anyways for as much as they're on the road. I don't think we need to add the element of barbed wire with honestly a bunch of guys that don't really know how to work with barbed wire. I mean, if we were talking the Foley era or the Funk era, I could maybe see that because those guys knew how to work barbed wire. But aside from like Triple H, I don't think anybody on the roster right now really knows how to work a barbed wire match.
I say the only people who would probably be like Edge or Jeff.
And I don't even, neither one of them have really worked barbed wire matches. Yeah, okay, Edge got hardcore with Mick Foley one time.
Yeah.
One time in a 10-year career doesn't mean you know how to work barbed wire. It means that you got lucky on one episode of TV and you didn't hurt yourself. But then you did it at a house show. In San Diego, which we're reading online, San Diego is now cursed. The last 3 times WWE has been to San Diego, someone has gotten injured. First it was Randy Orton, then it was Evan Bourne, and now it's Edge.
Well, the reason why he's saying this because I'm originally from San Diego.
That has nothing to do with it.
It's
There's a lot of people talking about
it's
it.
coincidence. Everyone out there in wrestling world, it's coincidence. You know, Randy Orton landed wrong when he got thrown out of the ring. Bourne fucked up when he was trying to do a move outside the ring and did that. So he fucked up and landed wrong like that. And then Edge, we weren't there, so we were able to see it. But it's all just. I'm just saying. It's just an accident. You know, accidents happen in every single city. It's just a coincidence. 3 in the last year and a half have happened in San Diego.
This last question today is from our good friend Sandy. We love you, girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very long question, so bear with me. What are your thoughts on all the hype for this year's SummerSlam? For example, SummerSlam Access and the reading contest that they are having for kids at the libraries. Also, I read they're trying to make it the 2nd biggest pay-per-view aside from Mania. But personally, I think that it's the Rumble with the 30-man Battle Royal. Just wanted to get your thoughts. Okay. Actually, I like the way they're hyping SummerSlam this year, all the overhyped for it, because SummerSlam always falls around my birthday. So SummerSlam has always been special to me for the last 10 to 11 years that I've been following wrestling.
Yeah.
The fact that it's also in LA, so all the hype is surrounding where we live, makes it even better for me.
Yeah.
But it's not the first year they've really hyped SummerSlam. The last 2 years they did the whole Venice Beach, wrestling on the beach thing, which was kind of like an Access, but it wasn't as big as Access by any means.
Biggest party of the summer.
Exactly. The reading contest, anything that promotes literacy in the youth of America. I am behind.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it takes to get a kid into the library to check out a book. It doesn't matter if it's the new Harry Potter book. It doesn't matter if it's a wrestling biography. It doesn't matter if it's some little trendy paperback on High School Musical. If it gets the kids in the library to read, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Access. Oh my God, Access is going to be huge.
Yes, which the Hardy guys will be at, and we'll be doing a very special episode live at SummerSlam Access. So stay tuned for that.
Hopefully. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. As long as budgets allow us to, we will be doing at least one episode from there. But Access is going to be $15 per session. There's going to be 3 sessions over 2 days. August 22nd, Saturday, which is my birthday.
He will be turning 40 this year.
I will not. Get over it. August 22nd, which is my birthday, there will be 2 sessions, one from 11 to 3, one from 4 to 8. If we film, we'll be filming in between that break there. So fans, make sure you don't leave Access if you go.
Yep.
Just some of the names that are going to be in both sessions. I don't remember every name for every session, but you've got the Hart Dynasty, you've got Crime Time, Matt Hardy, Randy Orton, CM Punk,
Mickey James,
The Miz, Chris Jericho, The Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder.
Woo woo woo.
No. Bunch of big names going to be there.
Yeah.
Finley,
It's gonna
Tommy
be,
Dreamer.
It's going to be awesome. I mean, I was at WrestleMania 25 Access. I've been to a bunch of Accesses before. They're amazing. You get to meet, fans from all over, the world. I'm guessing a lot of fans will come in from probably Arizona, Vegas to come to Access. So, yeah, it will be an all-star event going to SummerSlam Access this year.
Day 3, or the second day, Session 3, August 23rd, the day of SummerSlam.
Yep.
Session will be going from noon to 4, giving you fans just enough time to get out of Access, walk across the street to Staples, and get your seats for the big show.
Yeah.
Session 3 is honestly what I'd like to call a makeup session. There's going to be a lot of people from the first 2 that are going to be repeated.
Yep.
Chavo Guerrero, John Cena, the Hart Dynasty.
Crime Time, Mickey James.
There's going to be a lot of people repeated at the 3rd session, so I'm probably not going to be going to the 3rd one. I don't know if Chris will be, but you'll definitely be able to catch us together at the first 2 sessions.
Yep.
Now, in regards to SummerSlam becoming the 2nd biggest pay-per-view of the year, I kind of agree with you, Sandy, that the Royal Rumble is, at least in my opinion, the 2nd biggest pay-per-view of the year. The Rumble has always been my favorite, even more so than Mania, because of the Rumble match. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what to expect. And I know that everything in wrestling is scripted. Thanks for that little tip yesterday, Jeff. Talk Wrestling number 71. Everything in wrestling is scripted, but at least the Rumble match provides a little bit of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yes, the winner is determined before the match. But deep down inside, there is still the possibility that a lot of the Rumble match is unscripted. I may know that I'm going in at number 3. Chris may know that he's going in at number 10. And we've got to make sure that we're both in there at the same time. So I'm not getting eliminated from number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. But I might get eliminated as soon as he gets in there.
Yeah.
I can start rivalries with whoever I want that's in the ring. I can go up and attack, Goldust or Hornswoggle or Tyler Rex or whoever is in the ring. That means nothing, and I can eliminate any of those guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do anything as far as future storylines unless WWE feels that there's gold, i.e. Maven drop-kicking Undertaker out of the Rumble.
That was awesome. That was probably one of the best Rumble eliminations of all time. Maven, or Rookie from Tough Enough, eliminating the Dead Man, a phenom.
So, deep down inside, I feel there's a lot of the Rumble that still can be unscripted, and it's the only match of the year that has that possibility. That's part of why I feel that it already is the 2nd biggest pay-per-view, Chris.
I agree with you. I mean, Alex SummerSlam, Birth of the Royal Rumble. So we've seen, Hogan Michaels. We've seen Rock Brock. We've seen a lot of big matches that, Yeah.
Orton Benoit.
Orton Benoit. So yeah,
Hogan Orton.
Yeah, Hogan Orton. We've seen a lot. So
I honestly was unaware of it, so I'm just going to give the hot tag to Chris Hardy, and he's got something he needs to get off his chest. So Chris, go ahead.
well, last night we watched episode 71 of Talk Wrestling. Our good buddy Jeff Meacham and Noah Donish, this tool of a wrestling fan, you fucktard, basically, bought NoDQ from, NoDQ. He bought it for $5,000, and Jeff was all pissed. But halfway through Jeff's show, Jeff said everything is storyline in wrestling. So we would like to know, Noah or Jeff Meacham, is this storyline or is it real? Because we've had, some pages say, Aaron's now in Sacramento, or, they both have the same picture now. I mean, is it a storyline or is it for real? And we watched your video, Noah. You are the dumbest, fucktard, lamest motherfucker ever. You stutter like Bubba Ray Dudley when he first debuted in the WWE. You are a mark to the fullest fucking extent of the word. If I see you at SummerSlam, I swear to God, I'm gonna bitch slap your ass all the way back to where your mom gave birth to you, you little bitch. Trying to take over Jeff's show or trying to start a rivalry with Jeff, please, get over yourself. You're not that important. You're fucking lame. You're a retard. Okay? So get over yourself. If you want to try to talk trash about Jeff, or, try to get over yourself, try to put yourself over, it ain't gonna work. So I guarantee you one thing, you will never take over the Hardy guys. You will never buy us out. You lame excuse for a man. That's all I gotta say. What about you?
I just would like to add that the views and opinions expressed in that rant were those of Chris Hardy and not necessarily Sean Hardy's or the opinions of a Hardy conversation. Just like when I ranted a couple weeks ago, that is all Chris Hardy's opinion.
What, you like Noah Donish?
I'm not saying that I like Noah Donish, but you kept using the term we, and considering that maybe that should be Zack Ryder's new catchphrase, we.
Oh, man.
But considering the fact that I had no idea that there was even going to be a part 3 today, I would like to keep my neck clean that I had no say in that rant.
Are you worried Noah Donish is going to come after you?
No. I just have no opinion in the matter whatsoever. As opposed to jumping headfirst into things and ranting like you did about is this real or is this fake, I kind of would like to have sat back a couple weeks and seen how things progress, just like tuning in every Monday night and watching a storyline progress. Yeah. If a few weeks down the road it looked like this was a legitimate buyout, I might have had something to say. And if in a few weeks this looked like it was just a storyline, I probably would have had nothing to say. So, Jeff, for you out there, I hope this is all fake.
Yes.
He was right on one thing. Noah Donish does look like a tool.
Yes.
And he's not anybody that I would want to associate with, so I understand why you walked off camera. Whether it is real or staged, I understand why you would have done it.
Yeah.
So, for Chris Hardy, I am Sean Hardy. And that is the end of episode 7 of A Hardy Conversation.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Elimination Chamber retrospective. All WrestleMania-themed retros by Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. The entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play series. Past and upcoming Jeff Meacham Network watch-along coverage. FTW Productions watch party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 7. Our favorite WrestleMania matches. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
You want to play 21? No DQ&A has got 22. That's right. Welcome everyone to No DQ&A here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of the website, Aaron Rift, and let's get right down to your questions regarding the world of professional wrestling. Are you a fan of NXT? Well, first of all, I have not watched NXT since it stopped airing on television, so I have no idea if the show has changed at all in terms of the format. Basically, I was never a really big fan of the show because, for one thing, it exposed just how green some of these guys really were, and I think they're better off getting their experience, behind the scenes, in the developmental program and on house shows and so forth. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that show. It was just basically filler in my book. So, okay, next question. When WCW and WWF had the Monday Night Wars, did you tune back and forth to see the action? Well, basically, my situation was that I was on the West Coast, and at least until 1998, WCW Nitro would air at 5 o'clock, so it would be the live feed of the show. And then Raw would air at 8 or 9 o'clock. I don't remember which time. I think they pushed it back like 97, somewhere around there. That was the situation, and then in 1998, for whatever reason, Nitro started airing head-to-head with Raw. So I would just have the VCR in one room and record Nitro and then watch Raw live. And by this point, WCW was starting to get pretty unbearable to watch. So I ended up choosing WWE to watch live, and then I'd watch Nitro later. So there's the answer for that one. Okay. If Brian Pillman were to have lived, where do you reckon he would have gone in WWF/WWE? Who do you reckon he would have feuded with down the line? Brian Pillman, in my opinion, definitely was on his way to bigger and better things. He was a perfect fit for the Attitude Era. He was, he brought that intensity and that unpredictability that made the Attitude Era so great in the late 1990s. And I could have definitely seen Pillman having a major feud with Steve Austin in 1998. Perhaps Pillman would have been in the role Mick Foley ended up being in as Vince McMahon's, his top guy to try to take out Steve Austin. And maybe Pillman, would have done the suit and tie and all that. I think it would have been some tremendous television with Pillman. It's just a crying shame what happened to him. That's the wrestling business. It really takes a huge toll on some of these guys. And, yeah, Pillman was definitely a guy that died way too soon. He had a lot to offer to the wrestling business. And, yeah. Okay. Matt Hardy has been making WWE return teases. I think he could return because he left on good terms, but it seems more likely for WWE to want to make him return only with his brother, so the tag team division really gets going. What do you think? I do not think Matt Hardy will be returning to WWE anytime soon. There was a reason they let him go in 2010, and then TNA just let him go. Matt Hardy needs to take care of his personal issues before either WWE or TNA will consider bringing him back. So, yeah, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Hopefully, him and Jeff, get their act together and will be able to come back into the wrestling business at some point. But for now, both of them should really stay away. And I don't think WWE is going to bring either of them back because I'm sure they probably see them as a liability at this point. What are your thoughts about the tag team champions? Personally, I think it's about time Evan Bourne has some gold. I totally agree. I think Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston are a great tag team. I loved that match on Raw. Joe Henning and I like to call him Joe Henning because I don't like that other name. Michael McGillicuddy, stupid name. And who's the other guy? David Otunga. See, I'm not even sure what the names are. That's how uneventful that whole tag team title reign has been. I'm all for a new team. I think Kofi and Evan can have some great matches. And hopefully this means WWE is going to start bringing in some new tag teams, and maybe the Kings of Wrestling can come in and feud with Kofi and Evan. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I definitely think it's a positive move for WWE. It's nothing but good news. Hey Aaron, I've noticed a lot of Jeff Hardy footage being shown on Jeff Hardy on WWE's new DVDs, and it also seems as though his name isn't banned from WWE anymore. Is there a possible return by Mania? Same thing with Matt Hardy. Jeff Hardy is not going to be coming back to WWE anytime soon. He's still with TNA at the moment. He is scheduled to appear on Impact this week. So, yeah, Jeff Hardy is doing his thing with TNA. He's still got his legal issues to take care of. Highly unlikely we're going to see either him or Matt at WrestleMania 28. What do you see in the future for Paul the Big Show White? Basically the same thing that we've been seeing for the past 10 years. You know, 1 month Big Show will be, you know, the happy-go-lucky baby face, and then the next month he'll be this, you know, mean, cruel bastard of a heel, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, he'll do his knockout punch. He'll be in the upper mid-card level. He's not going to be the top guy. He's not going to be the bottom guy. You know, he'll just be, you know, that big guy, the attraction, you know, the larger-than-life personality that comes out. So, you know, that's his role, and it works for him. You know, perhaps WWE could have done more with him over the years, but they pretty much dropped the ball with him from the very beginning. He came in February 1999, and then they could have pushed him as this monster heel to feud with Steve Austin, but then a month into his run, he jobs out to Steve Austin on television. So I don't know, but, you know, Paul White's always been one of my favorites, just as the whole giant persona. I think he's always done a good job and, you know, never really got the recognition that he deserves. I think some fans, you know, consider him to be overrated. I think he works really hard, and he deserves to be recognized as one of the top big men in the business. So there you go. All right, that about does it for No DQ&A. You can submit questions, formspring.me/AaronRift. And please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. And we'll see you next time for No DQ&A on NoDQ.com.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 7 of the Renegade of Wrestling. I am, of course, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, being joined once again this week by the Lady Killer Ray Larkin because you guys demanded him. We are here live in Torrance, California, the site of the Chris Jericho book signing. That's right, I've got the original one, A Lion's Tale, and his brand new one, Undisputed. Look, that's my bookmark. I'm just like a couple of pages in, but it's already an interesting read. We're here to meet the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll himself, but first, what you guys all tune into my show for, recap of this past week. And first we got to go back, Lady Killer, to Raw in Anaheim, California.
Which we were there.
When the most electrifying man in sports entertainment made his 7-year return after a 7-year absence, The Rock. Crowd was electric, man. What did you think?
I mean, we didn't get the best tickets in the house.
Nah,
but
I was so high. If I was any higher in the the Honda Center, I would have been like RVD watching a Cheech and Chong marathon. That's how high I was in the building.
But seriously, when we were all the way in the back, I felt the electricity.
Me too.
I felt when The Rock came back that it was a big moment, not only for stocks to go up, but it was a big moment.
It's always about the stocks.
It always is about the dollar.
I hate to bust him out, but one of my friends that I was with, I'm not going to throw his name on blast, but one of my friends that was there with me said he almost felt like crying. He felt that emotional with The Rock's return.
Why? We're not going to say his name.
No, we're not going to bust him out. Not going to bust him out, but one of the homies felt the emotion so strongly that he was about...
No, I'm not going to lie. I think it was water in my eye. I think I got something caught in my eye when he was talking. I don't know, but seriously, The Rock did a great job, but you know what? I'm still going to back Cena in this because, you know, my family, we invest in the WWE company under the C Nation. This new Rock, the old Rock and all that. He went out and made the Tooth Fairy, went out and made Doom, went out and made a bunch of flops. I just really don't know if I can trust The Rock again because he can cut the promo, but then he's going to leave tomorrow. Then he's going to...
This is true. This is true.
I'm just waiting for that.
For all the hatred that I spew upon him, John Cena is probably here for the long haul until he seriously injures himself in the ring to where he can't come back or he dies. God rests the thought. He is probably in the WWE for the long haul. The Rock has always been wishy-washy, you know, like a bad pair of flip-flops. Just one day he's a wrestler, the next minute he's like, I'm an actor and I'm never going back to wrestling.
He'll grab the mic after a match and he'll be an extra on the pay-per-view DVD. He's like, The Rock's leaving. Rock's leaving. The Rock's okay, guys, but he's leaving to go make a movie. And then it's like, then it gets...
And then 7 years later, he comes back and expects us to forget about it.
Exactly.
He expects us to forget about Doom and Race to Witch Mountain.
Yeah, you're like a neglectful father. You're just not there for it. This dad's on wrestling, right? He's a neglectful father.
This is the Renegade of Wrestling. This is the other show,
It's
Ray.
an honor to be on for the first
time.
You know? For the first time. We're all entitled to one bite. But yeah, he's just very...
The Rock's had more than one, though, so
yeah,
I'm just going to leave it there.
Leave it
SmackDown, though.
Yeah.
Over to SmackDown, man. Dolph Ziggler, who the Lady Killer went on record more than once on the Dads of Wrestling show as saying that Dolph Ziggler is not on the level of Edge, who got coronated as World Heavyweight Champion last week on SmackDown, Lady Killer.
You know what?
Who got coronated on SmackDown? Answer the question. Who got coronated? Thank you. Granted, his title reign lasted for like 5 minutes before Edge was rehired after being fired earlier in the night by Vicky.
Before the Rated R Superstar came
and
back.
then Edge came back and got his title back.
Won the belt back.
But the history books say Dolph Ziggler, World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, man.
So, can you finally concede defeat? Then maybe, just maybe, Dolph Ziggler is up there now in the upper echelon of WWE.
Well, storyline.
Of course, storyline-wise. That's all WWE is a bunch of storylines. Everything in wrestling, Lady Killer, is a storyline.
Well, storyline, he's accepting his next unemployment check. So, you know, he was fired by general manager Theodore.
This is true. This is true. I think I saw Dolph Ziggler up in Hollywood today using food stamps to buy some, some bleach dye for his hair to turn his hair back blonde again.
And it just didn't work out because he has to only buy food for that. That's not a food, that's a hair care
product.
This is true. That's not a hair care product.
Hey, there's some cachet though on those cards. There's a little bit of cachet. Just throwing that out there. I'm not saying I speak from personal experience,
storyline, of course.
but I know people who know people who know people.
Yeah, storyline.
Whose baby mama's ex gets food stamps. I'm just throwing that out there.
Storyline, of course.
But then we come to the Elimination Chamber and the returns of both Christian and Trish Stratus. 2 Canadians in one night, baby. 2 Canadians.
Did I not say that on episode 4 of Dads on Wrestling?
I do believe you did.
I threw it out there, had the whole Edge and Christian shirt.
Yes, you did.
I knew this was going to happen. Big ups to the Captain Charisma, Mr. Peep Show.
But why didn't they throw Christian in the chamber? That was the biggest epic fail, was Big Show being the spot in the chamber. They should have put Christian in that spot, but I think what they really wanted to give fans was that ENC moment. And have Christian come out to help Edge, maybe build up to WrestleMania with a couple of Edge and Christian classic tag team matches, maybe against Alberto and Ricardo Rodriguez, or Alberto and insert jobber name here, because it's all about Alberto right now on the road to WrestleMania. Definitely. But I think that was the main reason they didn't throw him in the chamber. They wanted to give those classic ENC, for the benefit of those with flash photography, 5-second pose moments.
Exactly, and that's
for at least 40 days.
Yeah, for at least as long as they can possibly do it.
Yeah.
Christian coming back has just been so great, not only for the industry, but just for Edge to rejuvenate that career.
And for your stocks, right?
And
stocks going up.
Yeah, stocks going up, of course. But actually, I can't wait to see the Peep Show, the Cutting Edge, both shows combined. Yes. I can't wait to see the big. What is it? The big Elvis hat, or the big Elvis wigs, or the big cowboy hats.
The Peeps Edge. You heard it here first. The Peeps Edge.
There you go.
And then 2/21/11 finally came. The big payoff after weeks and weeks of hype, and it was The Undertaker.
No surprise there.
No real surprise. The minute they started to pipe in "Ain't No Grave Can Hold My Body Down" in week 2's promo, I knew it was The Undertaker.
I was fooled. I thought it was Mae Young. I thought it was Mae Young. There was no grave that was going to keep that 98-year-old body down. I thought
but as soon as Undertaker returned, Undertaker barely got to remove his hat, and Triple H's music hit, and he came out. No promotion, no build-up. Boom! Time to play the game.
Yeah, I mean,
that had to be the greatest promo I've ever seen since the zombie on the debut episode of ECW. Because those two did not say a word. They looked at each other, they looked at the WrestleMania 27 sign, they looked back at each other. Taker made his cutthroat symbol, Trips did the crotch chop, and that was all that needed to be said. It's like, I challenge you, challenge accepted, baby, suck it.
Nice. And that's, you know what, I hope Triple H is the man that stops the streak. Now, you know I'm not having been too far.
It's not gonna happen.
You know I was a big Triple H fan.
I know.
You knew I was rocking the Evolution shirts, the Paid Lady Made, and you know I was for one moment thinking I was Triple H. You know when we had the Enterprise. You know.
Except for when you showed up at RVD's wearing Hulk Hogan boas to an Al Snow signing.
All right. I'm not even gonna.
Then you reverted back to the '80s, there, brother.
All right, hey, I'm not gonna pull out pictures of you wearing your Word Life T-shirt and your little John Cena chain.
You know what?
Doing your little Word Life.
But Raw this past week, where John Cena went freestyle and took it back to his thugonomics degree, I was marking out again because that was the John Cena that I liked.
And if you guys get on his Facebook page, now you're gonna start seeing those word light photos. I've been looking for
They've
it.
been up there for a minute, dude. There's pictures of me rocking my gear up there. I've never hidden the fact that I used to be a fan. I'm just not anymore.
Ah, fair enough.
This past week's Raw, though, if that's the direction John Cena's going to go for this feud with The Rock, that will either be built up to WrestleMania or SummerSlam, then I might end up getting behind John Cena again.
Thank you, man. And now so
might.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So what else do we got on Raw to close out Raw? The main event on Raw.
The tag team titles changed times twice with the era of awesomeness.
And the
WWE Championship and the pressed penny tag team championship that I can go to Disneyland and pay 51 cents for a penny that looks exactly like the straps. Double champion for about 5 minutes.
With the Dr. Thugonomics John Cena.
Yes, and I like the way they did it, but I wish they hadn't done it. It seems like every time John Cena's building towards a big main event, they did it with Shawn, they did it with Batista, they give him the tag titles with whoever he's going to be feuding with at Mania, and they repeated the formula here with The Miz. But what happened? The Miz scored the pin to win the titles, and Cena took the pinfall to lose the titles. Translation being, I am better than you. I don't need you to win gold.
Speaking of better than anyone else, I'm actually reading this very nice edition of WWE Magazine with our favorite wrestler on the cover, CM Punk. And as you can see right here, he's flying over the week just like always.
Yep.
And if you guys didn't watch the opening match on Raw, it was actually a good one between Morrison and CM Punk.
For a couple of cripples gimping out there after the chamber match, that was a hell of a match.
Yeah, for those ass scratches CM Punk had, I mean, he really came through on that match.
You know, I mean, I don't know what more to say. John Morrison and CM Punk are definitely two of the future superstars within the WWE and should be carrying main events for the next 5 years, barring any major injuries.
I think just time needs to go by because remember ECW, they were feuding out there, and then they feuded on SmackDown when he was beating Jeff Hardy right before he faced Jeff Hardy at the at SummerSlam 09, and then now they're on Raw feuding. I think they need just a little bit of time, time away from each other.
I agree. The match that I really want to see, the feud that I really want to see right now is CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan.
Definitely.
I think those two have got such chemistry with each other that throw those two in a match. I wish it would be Mania, but it looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be Punk versus Orton in Mania. But maybe start to build towards that at SummerSlam when they come back to LA.
Definitely.
One more again, and we'll be there.
Can you show that book, Jericho's new book? We're just going to close out on this note. As a Chris Jericho fan outside of the ring, I'm a fan of his outside of the ring. He is an amazing talent. He has Fozzy. He has this book deal. He had Downfall. He had his little spots on VH1.
Don't forget his movie.
Albino Farm. Who can forget Albino Farm?
And Android Apocalypse.
But as a WWE mark, as I am, at the end of the day, you motherfucker, Chris Jericho, I paid nearly $2,000 to fly out to Arizona to watch Edge capture the championship for the 10th time.
And then you retained.
You could have had the moment on SmackDown.
That was the biggest disappointment of last year's Mania to me, was that they had all that build-up with Edge, only for him to fail.
So I'll say this, Jericho, as a fan of you on the outside of the ring, I love you to death. But as a fan who goes and pays a hard-earned money to buy those tickets to see you wrestle, and me being an Edge head, I'm gonna tell you this: look at where Edge is now. 11-time champion. He's above you now, Chris Jericho. And now, what are you doing now? You had Orton punt you in the fucking head, and now you're over here in Torrance, California, signing my book, an Edgehead's book.
But there's one thing that Chris Jericho has done that Edge can never say. He beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night to become the first ever undisputed champion in WWE history. And that is why he is, like his book says, undisputed. That's why he is the best in the world at what he does. And that's the gospel according to the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla. We're getting the wrap-up sign for our cameraman here for episode 7 of Renegade of Wrestling. I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, the Lady Killer.
No.
Sweet! The Lady Killer, it's been a pleasure having you on this show instead of Dad's for a change. We'll see you next week on YouTube.
Thank you so much.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello everybody, this is Double A, the normal cameraman for the Renegade of Wrestling channel on YouTube. Shouts out to guys over there. Just letting you know to be on the lookout for my new show, The Double Down with Double A. It's going to be innovative, it's going to be fun. I'm not always going to talk about wrestling, I'm going to talk about sports, current events, or just shit that just really just pisses me off. So be sure to tune in very soon.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Hello Internet fans, I'm back again. Wow, I'm doing a lot of episodes. In fact, this is episode 7 of Boy Rants, and we're filming today a few minutes after the WWE Night of Champions pay-per-view. So we're just going to do rants about the pay-per-view. Some comments have come in. That's okay. But like I say, no big rants, just on the pay-per-view today, okay? We'll get back to that next week after more comments come in for episode 8. Okay, so first up on the card was Air Boom, Kofi and Evan against The Miz and R-Truth. And of course, Air Boom retained. It was a very good little match. Miz and Truth came out, you know, and they're doing their new little "You Suck" song, which honestly I do not like it. And you know, pretty good match. A lot of aerial stuff from Kofi and Evan. That's why they're called Air Boom. But then, of course, towards the end of the match, when the referee's not looking, Evan gives the blind tag, or he makes the sound of the tag, jumps in the ring, and of course Miz and Truth are coming over and say, "Hey, he didn't make the tag." But the referee says, "I heard the tag." That's a heel move. They're the faces. So at first I'm thinking, what the heck are you guys doing? Back and forth, whatever, and in the end, Miz puts his hands on the referee and pie faces him, ending in a disqualification, and Air Boom retains. And that's not a good way to start off a pay-per-view with a DQ. Yes, they retain the titles. They're going to hold on to it a little bit longer, like I said in the prediction show. But you don't start a pay-per-view like that. You got to start off with, you know, with the Evan Bourne shooting star or Trouble in Paradise and get a nice clean pin. So, you know, good job for Air Boom retaining, but you know, not like that. There might be a rematch on Raw tomorrow. Expect it. If not, if there's not a rematch tomorrow, they'll probably be on opposite sides at Survivor Series. Up next was the IC title match against Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. Again, pretty good match, back and forth. Rhodes ended up winning after DiBiase decided to take off the mask, which I also said would happen in the prediction show. But he tried to use it as a weapon. It failed. Rhodes reversed and even grabbed the tights, and so Cody Rhodes retains his belt. I was wrong in this one. I said DiBiase should have got it. I was pretty torn between the two, but you know, good job, Cody. You got the belt a little bit longer. Maybe he'll hold it past Survivor Series and probably into the December pay-per-view. Hell in a Cell is coming up in 2 weeks, which is kind of quick for a pay-per-view. Up next was the I think was it the heavyweight title match was next, or was it the fatal four-way? I think it was the fatal four-way. Another good match. I was a little surprised with I picked John Morrison, but Dolph retained. At the end, there was a lot of confusion going on, left and right, back and forth type stuff. At one point, it looked like A-Rod was going to pull it off. He actually hit his finisher on Jack. Got shoved out of the way. And, you know, good job for Dolph. He's going to hold the belt a little bit longer. He might lose it at Hell in a Cell. You never know. And then, as we go into the back, Vicky proclaims that, hey, I'm going to be, I could be COO if Triple H loses. We'll get to that a little bit later. And then she plants one on why am I blanking on his name? Help me out, cameraman. Who am I blanking on?
Matt Striker.
Matt Striker, thank you. Sorry. Up next was the World Heavyweight title match between Mark Henry and Randy Orton. I predicted that Mark Henry would win, and he did. He injured Randy's leg a couple times. Randy went for the RKO, couldn't do it. He actually pulled off the spike DDT off the ropes, which was very impressive. And, you know, Mark Henry got his first major title. Good job, Mark. How long will he hold it? Not sure. There was also a promo between Christian and Sheamus. Christian is crying he wants one more match for the title. So, I'm not pretty certain they'll do heel versus heel. Maybe do Christian, Sheamus, and Mark Henry in a three-way. there's your one more match, Christian. You know, this whole, and then like I said, and then I said this in the promo, Sheamus and Christian agreed that if Christian wins, he gets the next shot, or if Christian wins, Sheamus gets the next shot. Sorry. So, you know, there's a lot of deal making going on. So now the WWE is becoming like an episode of Big Brother, I think. You know, it's like, if you do this, I'll do this. If you don't do this, I have a plan B, and whatever. So, Mark Henry, first title. Don't screw it up, Mark. You know. Next up was the What the Fuck match, and the Oh My God, I Can't Believe It Happened. Kelly against Beth Phoenix in Buffalo. You know, this is hard to believe, but Kelly retained, and I don't know what or how they want to see Barbie doll as the Divas champion. You know, Kelly is, she's called Barbie doll for a reason, because that's what she is, and Beth Phoenix is this pissed off, she's supposed to be a pissed off heel that is supposed to plow through everybody. And it was a victory roll again. Didn't this happen before? Didn't Natalya get a title shot and the same thing happened? You know, so this is the shocker. There were actually boos when Kelly won. So she grabbed her belt and ran. You know, and this makes 90 days for Kelly. You know, I don't... If she does not lose the title anytime soon, then there is something really wrong in the Divas division. And it's just... It is, at that point during the pay-per-view, I was done. I didn't really want to watch anymore. I had more fun playing with my niece in her toys than watching the pay-per-view. Up next was the Cena Del Rio match for the WWE Championship, and Alberto comes out without his car, which we kind of alluded to, or I kind of figured out, because Ricardo Rodriguez was not talking. The music hit, and Del Rio comes walking out, and he's ticked off and whatever, and you know, all you hear was, "Where's my keys? Where's my keys, man? You don't have, where you took my keys?" Here comes Cena in the yellow Ferrari, and I was like, and then he gets on the mic, and you know, whatever. And then Ricardo during the match grabs the ankle. So he gets thrown out to ringside. So now it's one-on-one, which it should be. They go back and forth, whatever. The cross arm breaker gets applied, so Cena just picks him up and drops him. And Ricardo comes back out. We take out Ricardo. STFU. Alberto taps. Cena's now a 12-time overall champion, 10 WWEs, and 2 World Heavyweights. You know, a lot of internet fans are ticked off, me being one of them, because I did not want Cena to win. You know, where's he gonna go now? Is he gonna hold it all the way till WrestleMania? Are we gonna bring back the whole, you know, I'm gonna face you, Rock, at WrestleMania? And you know, it's like, I'm done with you, Cena. Honest to God. And then finally, the main event, Triple H and CM Punk. And just to clarify, even though I didn't specifically say I wanted Triple H to win during my prediction show, I did. I kind of danced around it, but I did not truly say I wanted Triple H to win. So I apologize if you guys are thinking, so who's your pick? For it being a no DQ match, they could have done a lot more. I mean, a garbage can, a chair, the table. The sledgehammer was used, but not on in there. I'll touch on that in just a quick second. You know, since WWE's gone PG, you know, if I want no DQ, I want to see kendo sticks and brass knuckles and fighting in the locker room and going to the gorilla position, going out to the street. You know, I mean, come on. I want to see some violence. Like I said, I was so bored with this. You know, I wasted $50 that I'm not going to get back. So let's start the fun to payback stat boy. I don't know. I have PayPal, so send me your... No, I'm not saying send me your money. Come on, really. And then the rumor came true that Kevin Nash came back only before Miz and Truth came out. There was a filler, yeah. And of course, John Laurinaitis came out with the cell phones, and I'm sending a text. Let's add to this storyline a little bit more. Really? So then, of course, like, Nash comes out. He takes out both of them, which was a shocker there. So Trips hits him with a sledgehammer. Punk hits the go to sleep. And, you know, Triple H hits the pedigree, you know. Great shirt by Punk with the ice cream bar. You'll probably find that on Shop Zone in 2 weeks. So, so he's still the COO. As far as the whole I'm going to kick your ass thing, nobody got their ass kicked tonight. They're going to be fine tomorrow. There's not going to be any marks on them or anything, you know. So, where they're going to go from here? They're going to push Hell in a Cell. I doubt there'll be a Hell in a Cell match with Punk and Trips. I doubt that. Maybe put Cena and Del Rio Hell in a Cell because Alberto gets a rematch. Like I say, I'm sorry I'm not my usual self. You know, I'm not as excitable as I should be. But like I say, I wasted my money on this pay-per-view. And those that you did buy it at your home, you wasted your money because the champ is here. Really. Good for you, Cena. You're the champ. Let me read your comments on the pay-per-view. I'll touch on it on my next episode. And I'll wait. I promise I will not do an episode after Raw tomorrow. I will wait a week, so I want to get my numbers back up, too, because I've been looking at my numbers and they've been kind of going down, only because I've been filming. So, overall, I'm very disappointed in this pay-per-view. WWE, pick it up. And as far as this, Statboy is out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Elimination Chamber retrospective. All WrestleMania themed retros by Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. The entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play series. Past and upcoming Jeff Meacham Network watch-along coverage. FTW Productions watch party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 7. Our favorite WrestleMania matches. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the special weekend edition of Dad's on Wrestling. I am one of your hosts for this program, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams.
And making my glorious return to internet video on YouTube with a little boo-boo from a certain stuffed teddy bear. Not stuffed with fluff, that we all love, but a different bear altogether that I'll address on Monday's Talk Wrestling. Mr. TW Jeff Meacham.
And this is episode 7 of Dad's on Wrestling, which I just want to point out, I am 2 episodes on this program away from breaking my episodic record of a hearty conversation with my former co-host.
All right, well, there you go.
We only went 9 episodes on that one, so once we hit episode 10, baby,
so
we're already
what you're saying is Chris Hardy will come for you. Okay, anyway. There goes my hand.
Wow, Jeff. Really?
See, I see what you're doing with the really there. Very, very nice ensemble there.
You know, I had to get that out there. You know, got the shirt this past Monday live in Anaheim, California.
Yes.
The site of Monday Night Raw.
Yay, Raw.
But anyways, we are here to give a special weekend prediction episode.
Yes.
For the Elimination Chamber.
Yes, since Aaron and I forgot to tape enough in the can, and the fact that I did my prediction show on Monday,
But matches have been announced.
But matches have been announced since I taped that show, and I've been in the hospital.
You only did 3 matches, right?
I only did 3 as far as I know.
Now we have a 5-match card.
We have a 5-match card, so we actually have the whole card already.
Yeah.
You know? As long as those chamber matches go, you never know. So anyway.
And should we go ahead and bring him in now?
Let's bring him in. We have a special guest.
Special guest.
Not quite a dad on wrestling, but he's
a solid uncle.
Solid uncle for sure, and a great human being in general.
Stat boy himself.
The
LB Kid, Mike Caldwell.
What's up, internet folks? Ooh, yeah, Dad's on Wrestling. Good show.
All right, so let's get right into the predictions. We're going to start with the Raw Elimination Chamber match, which will feature.
I was going to say start bottom to top since the tag match is so useless, but.
Okay, good point. The tag team title match: Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov versus the Core, Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel.
If the Core doesn't win, it's over for them right here, right now. They have to win a big match. They haven't won a big anything except the fact that they've dominated Big Show's ass for the last 2 months.
True, but Wade Barrett is still in the chamber. He can always walk out with the title. And then the Core will have won a big match.
That's very true. I gotta go with the Core as well. Thank you.
Full stream, he's not talking, folks.
Really, yeah. As much as I'm very happy with Santino and Kozlov, that they've had the belts a good long time, almost 2 months, I believe.
You're happy with them as champions?
They're a good tag team. They're funny. They make me laugh. But here's my prediction. This is my official prediction. You will see the Cobra, but we will have new tag champs in.
I'm going to go on record to say the Core too, because I'm sorry. Without gold around Heath Slater's waist, he just needs to go back to Wendy's and get me a quarter-pound double stack with cheese, sided chili, and a Frosty.
I was waiting for the Frosty.
I'm just throwing that out.
Are they Aaron's walking away again?
I'm just throwing that out there because I'm sorry, he's useless if he's not champion. Justin Gabriel, if they had the Cruiserweight division, Justin Gabriel would be a great Cruiserweight champion. Heath Slater would be, future endeavors in the next 6 months.
Right, seriously.
Okay, Kofi Kingston, Alberto Del Rio, non-title though.
So no IC belt on the line.
Non-title.
This is going to be Alberto's, it's a WrestleMania yet match.
Yeah, Alberto is going to own Kofi. That's why it's non-title, so that he doesn't go into WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion a la Warrior.
Yeah, so they don't have a Warrior Hogan thing coming after WrestleMania.
Alberto's going to own Kofi, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's got to have all that momentum going into Mania, like you said. If Kofi wins, it'll be a hell of a shock, but don't expect it, guys.
Yeah.
And speaking of a future shock,
yes.
Yeah, right. The WWE Championship.
Yes.
The Miz against the now unfortunately motherless Jerry the King Lawler. I gotta say, for the Miz, as badass as a heel as he has been, he seemed legit like he was not wanting to cut that promo on Monday. He was like, dude, the guy's mom just died, for crying out loud.
I've been saying for the longest time, The Miz is us. The Miz is just a mark who was in the right place, right time, and got lucky. Yeah. He is living every fanboy's dream.
Exactly.
Yeah. You could see on his face that he had emotion cutting that promo on Lawler's mom, and he didn't really want to do it. Yeah. So for all you Miz haters over there in internet land, like the cameraman here, that think that the Miz...
There he goes again!
Get back here, cameraman! Get back here!
Get back here!
All you guys in internet land that thinks that the Miz just suffers from royal douchebaggery, ease up on the guy, okay? He is a genuine human being.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back and watch the Jimmy Fallon interview.
Yes.
With Mike Mizanin. Okay.
That was Mike Mizanin.
That was Mike Mizanin on that show, and you'll see that he's living out his dream, living out our dream, for crying out loud.
In fact, the only time I think he actually was the Miz when he came out with those flames coming up, and that's when he was the Miz.
Which was cool to hear the Roots do. I can't remember.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Put it to you this way: the only way I see Lawler walking out of this match with the championship is if he plans to retire right then and there in the ring. Say that I've accomplished the greatest championship in professional wrestling history. I'm going to retire undefeated for the title, and then they put the belt on the line in the Rock Chamber match.
That sounds good.
To declare a champion right then and there.
Which would be cool.
Either way.
But official pick for Renegade is going for the Miz.
So
I'm going with Lawler. Not necessarily for the title. If he wins the match, more power to him.
True.
If he wins the belt,
so you're anticipating a DQ,
exactly.
possibly by
Exactly.
Ted DiBiase
I don't want to hear anyone saying, "Oh, he got the title because his mom died." That would be.
That's what everyone would say.
That would be kind of nice. It's like, we're sorry. Here's your title, but.
If his mom hadn't died this weekend, they would have said, "Oh, he got the title because he's been a wrestler for 45 years, and he deserved the belt." His mama just happened to die this weekend, so now it's, "Oh, well, he's been a wrestler for 45 years, and his mama died."
But at the
Valentine's Day, no less.
But at the end of the day, the era of let's give the guy the title because of his contributions is over. He's not Mick Foley in 1998.
This
Okay?
is true.
The WWE title needs to start meaning something again, and the only way it will is if The Miz solidly retains.
This is true.
Right.
Okay.
Now, you had talked, your segue into this match review was the Future Shock. I thought you were going to go with the SmackDown Chamber
thought that,
and
yeah.
discuss Drew McIntyre in the SmackDown Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre, Edge, of course, defending, Kane, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
We had Dolph Ziggler in this match originally, but for those of you who saw SmackDown,
Yeah, Dolph was fired on SmackDown, so who will be the sixth man in the chamber? Possibly The Undertaker, maybe?
possibly this guy's best friend,
Triple H?
Triple H.
Triple H could come back.
Possibly Sting?
Possibly. It could be
If
anybody.
22111 is in fact Undertaker, and if they have managed to work a deal out with Sting, which I know you've covered on Talk Wrestling, probably isn't going to happen,
Right.
Sting could be the sixth man in the chamber.
You know what?
Undertaker could then come back on Raw, Conflict, lead up to the match.
At this point, it's going to be anybody but Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
Because
what about The Rock?
The Rock has a good possibility too. But
Maybe have The Rock go into the SmackDown chamber, come out with the world title, have John Cena get the #1 contendership, and then find a way to work a program where instead of challenging Miz
he challenges The Rock, and
Based off of what happened
and then we get our dream match.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Dolph because we had about a 20-minute discussion at the house about whether Dolph was fired or whether he was champion or whatever the hell he was.
Yeah, because that was a hell of a scenario
That
right
was
there.
hideous.
But
That was hideous.
My prediction is that Edge is probably going to retain,
Okay.
regardless of who the sixth man is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree with that too.
Because they've been building Edge on Alberto since the Rumble
Yeah.
now, so and Alberto attacked Edge.
Unless they gave the strap to Rey, since Alberto's biggest rivalry has been against Rey Mysterio.
Which is what I said on Talk Wrestling.
I was going to say, I know how much you loathe Rey Mysterio, Jeff, and I'm kind of anti-Rey myself, but ever since Alberto's debut, his entire rivalry for the past 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it's been, has been Rey Mysterio.
Yep, on house show circuit, on TV, everything.
So
It's
put
been
the
Alberto.
strap on Rey, and then it becomes Alberto Rey for the title.
I give it to my little Chihuahua, Rey Mysterio. No.
In which case, Alberto's a world champion at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Alberto, either way, is probably going to walk out with the world
You
title.
think so?
I do.
Well,
I think
we'll
it's
talk
his
about that.
destiny
I
to
think-
become the champion at WrestleMania.
I'm pretty sure that was his first
Destiny
English
could be
word
annoying.
was destiny. I'm just
Hey,
throwing that out there, you know?
Total side note, sense of humor wise, what if Ricardo's the sixth man?
Oh, okay, yeah, we're walking on that one. Hey, whoa, what's the next match? You got one more.
The last
one more to
match,
go.
the last match, ladies and gentlemen, the Raw Chamber match for the #1 contendership to the Awesome Ones Championship. You've got R-Truth, John Morrison, Sheamus, Randy Orton, John Cena, and the straight edge savior himself, CM Punk.
As I said on Talk Wrestling, conventional wisdom leads me to believe that it will be John Cena walking out as the Chamber victor, and we'll see the Miz and John Cena conclude that program that they teased us with ever so often there a couple years ago, but never really fulfilled. You know what I'm saying?
See, I'm just tired of Cena
I
in
am
the main
too.
event of
Thank
WrestleMania.
you. I am too.
Cena
I
has
am
been
too.
featured in a main event of WrestleMania every year since WrestleMania 21.
It's like Cena with
WrestleMania
Raw
20, he
here.
was the curtain jerk. WrestleMania 21, he got his first main event,
And his
and he's
title.
been main evented Mania ever since.
I agree. I'm not saying I want to see Cena.
No.
But this is a prediction show,
Odds
not
on-
a I want show. So.
What about John Morrison? We've
like to
never really gotten a solid Morrison-Miz feud because they were usually always on separate shows.
And when they did give it to us, they gave it to us for a couple weeks at the beginning of the year this year.
Yeah.
And they just had Miz skull crush finale him into the friggin' floor on Raw,
And
the
ended.
first Raw of the year. It ended. That was it. Yeah.
I think
I'd like to see more.
I would say look for Morrison as the dark horse,
But if I'm betting money on it, which I will be doing this Sunday,
Oh, yeah.
We will.
I'm betting money on Cena.
Unfortunately, I have to agree, but I want to see Orton go in to Mania.
I'm gonna give Noah some ammunition here, but I bet my food stamps on it. So.
Food stamps.
You're fail for that, Jeff.
Food stamps. Wow.
That's all I have. I don't have
my first show
so we've
here
got
and
Cena,
Orton,
and Cena.
Cena. I'm not going anywhere else.
Okay.
Morrison is my please God let it happen, but it's gonna be Cena.
As we've said on numerous shows, both of my own show, Renegade, Talk Wrestling, and Together on Dads, they need to elevate new people to the main event.
I agree.
They've taken great leaps in the past year with Sheamus, Swagger, Punk, Morrison, Miz,
yeah.
you know, Alberto,
yeah.
Miz, Morrison, Mania. It
And
just kind of runs together there.
Even putting Kane back in the main event after how long and having him have a good
Miz
solid run
versus
there.
Morrison at Mania,
Yeah.
I think would be an awesome way to bring somebody else up to
every pun intended,
the main event there. Yeah, every pun intended.
Okay, good.
Awesome way. That's right.
Yeah, really.
That's about it, I believe, for this prediction show.
Hey,
I'm gonna go change my dressings there.
Yeah, go do
I'm
that.
the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams.
I am Mr. TW Jeff Meacham.
I'm Stat Boy Mike Caldwell.
The
Look for my
LB
stats,
Kid
LB
himself,
man.
and we will see you next time on Dads of Wrestling.